Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Delta Airline, I'd like to welcome you aboard flight number 2006 with services from Council Bluffs, Iowa, and continuing service to City Regional Airport in Cedar Rapids in South Dakota. Today on this flight, we have a special guest flying with us. The one and only, famous video game maker, Nick Nielsen, will be flying with us. Due to this pleasant surprise, the pilot has asked me to say a little speech about Nick himself. Today we'll be going over who accompanies Nick when he flies, what Nick does when he's not creating the new trendy game, and what Nick plans to do after high school. Everyone buckle up, we're about to start the climb. Before everyone grab some peanuts and get comfortable, we have a long flight ahead of us. Accompanying Nick today, we have his mom, Joy, and his dad, Chad. Occupying the seats behind them, we have Nick's very supportive siblings. His older brother, Noah, who is 19 and a sophomore at UNO College, and his younger sister, Abby, who is 12 and a 7th grader at Kern Middle School. Sadly, a family member was not allowed on the flight, and that is Nick's pet Bailey shark, Bruce. The name Shark is very deceiving considering the fact that Bruce is very tiny. Nick doesn't only travel with his family, he also travels with his friends. Occupying the seat next to Nick, we have his girlfriend, Olivia. Then we have Nick's squad. Starting in the first row, on the left we have Draven, and on the right, Hayden, and then we have Nick in the second row. Then in the first row we have Wyatt, in the second row Ben, and last but certainly not least we have Jameson. Nick feels he can trust all these people. If these people were to describe Nick in a few words, they would sure say he is kind, smart, and very hardworking. But isn't anyone who creates video games for a living? Before we make our first layover at Ipley Airport in Omaha, Nebraska, let's talk about what Nick does when he's not creating the new trendy game. Nick loves playing soccer. He plays center back for the Abraham Lincoln Lynx. When Nick's not playing soccer, you can sure find him studying for one of his 3 college classes at Iowa Western. The classes he is taking include Intro to Programming, Intro to IT, and Intro to Web Programming. Nick also loves to read. On top of all that, Nick has 2 jobs, working at Hy-Vee as a cashier and the CBCS reffing fields, reffing little kids' games. Nick always makes sure to make time to spend with his family and friends. When Nick is hanging out with his friends, you can sure find him watching the sunset and listening to music. His favorite playlist is Sing Me a Lullaby, My Sweet Temptation. This playlist makes Nick think of the peaceful sound of raindrops. In return, raindrops make Nick think of his idol, his grandpa. Sadly, Nick's grandpa passed away a month ago due to health issues. Nick and his grandpa used to just sit around, talk, and hang out, watching the storms passing overhead. As we descend down to the threshold, everyone needs to be in their seats and buckled up. Before we take off to our final destination, Rapid City Regional Airport in South Dakota, let's talk about what Nick wants to do after high school. After high school, Nick either wants to attend UNO or Iowa State for coding. Although Nick doesn't know what he wants to do after college, Nick knows that if he were to ever win the lottery, he would build a house up in the South Dakota mountains. Nick and his future wife would live there with his soon-to-be 1 to 3 children. With the money remaining, Nick would put about half of it into savings, stock market, and more, putting a net of safety around him if he were to ever need it. With a tiny portion of that money, he would put it into real estate, where one's money can soon become more. Then, with the money he has left, he would help out any friends and family if they had any financial debt. And if there's any money remaining, Nick would donate it to charities such as the Humane Society and other animal charities in need. Our estimated time of arrival is coming up. Before we descend into Rapid City Regional Airport, let's recap. Today we went over who accompanies Nick when he flies, what Nick does when he's not making the new trendy game, and what Nick plans to do after high school. If you put any luggage in the overhead storage bin, don't forget it. Thank you for flying with Delta Airline. Have a nice day.